Hello and welcome to The Gist. I'm your host, Chris Vetrano, here every week to break down all the things that are happening in pop culture and interviewing the people that make it pop. On today's show, we are going to count down our top 10 Scream Queens because it's Halloween week, and this is how we are going to celebrate here at The Gist. But before we do, I just want to quickly, set the tone because, as I said, it's Halloween week. Halloween is in our rear view. At this point, you've probably already hung your costumes away, wiped your face paint or whatever makeup you have on from your costume from the weekend prior. And if you've got kids or maybe you're hopped up on sugar, they're hopped up on sugar because Halloween was on Tuesday and all the trick-or-treaters went and got all their stuff. We actually didn't do a lot. I did go to a Halloween party this last weekend, but I didn't dress up. I didn't have a costume, and it was like a very last minute thing. My husband was like, "Oh, there's a Halloween party, and we gotta go, and we gotta stop by." And I was like, "Well, I don't have anything to wear," so I just wore all black because I was like, "Yeah, but then I realized that's what I wear pretty much 99% of the time." So I really just went to this Halloween party dressed as me. But then when people were asking like, "Well, what are you?" I was like, I'm boring. Just decided to wear all black and I don't have a costume. So happy Halloween. And they all just kind of looked at me like, who's this crazy person at the Halloween party that's not wearing a fucking costume? But anyways, so that happened over the weekend. And then we also didn't hand out any candy because our street just doesn't get trick-or-treaters. It's wild because when I was a kid, I was like, I feel like there wasn't a square inch of Colorado that I didn't touch for candy on Halloween night. I felt like me and my neighborhood friends, we were running all over the place and we were getting every house that we could possibly find before we knew that we had to get home before our parents screamed at us. But it's so weird because a block away, they shut down one of the streets in our neighborhood and there's this huge Halloween party and all the kids go trick-or-treating in this kind of square block of all these houses. And we are literally a block away from that and the kids never make it over here. And when we first moved into this house, we would meet up with our neighbors and we were so excited to hand out candy and see all the trick-or-treaters and we made nights of it and poured ourselves some adult beverage because we needed treats too and ordered takeout and we would have these what we thought was going to be these great nights. And then we would just come to find that we got 3 trick-or-treaters and it was teenagers who were ransacking whatever was left in the neighborhood. And we would just be like, well, here's, here, take the whole bowl because at this point we don't have anybody. And it's just so odd. We could never figure it out. So this year we just decided, screw it. We're going to go and get some great dinner. And we went to a wine bar down the street and we had ourselves a little Halloween, but there's also another reason. And I wanted to just ground us before, we get to our Scream Queens so that you guys understand a little bit about me and where I come from with this holiday. So if you're listening to this the day that the podcast comes out on Thursday, November 2nd, it's my birthday. And so, I'll take a minute while you cheers and applaud and, send me well wishes because I will receive them. But so growing up, I really loved Halloween. As I said, I went trick-or-treating. I did the whole 9 yards. I as a teenager, I became really into the slasher movies, which we'll get into. But I started as I was getting older to have a disdain for this holiday because my birthday is essentially sharing the holiday. And I think you understand what I mean. And I assure you that if your birthday falls anywhere near a holiday, I can't even imagine those poor kids that have birthdays around Christmas. Oh God, I can't, I feel for you because you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's, you've got all these things. I can't imagine how anyone ever fits you into their schedule. And for that, I am sorry. I wish there was more I could do for you. But here's what happened to me growing up. And I keep saying growing up because growing up, I still kind of liked the holiday. It wasn't until I was like probably like of drinking age and there were like Halloween parties and people were hosting their own things. That's when I really was like, oh, this holiday fucking sucks. Because everybody decides that, oh, Chris, it's your birthday this weekend. That's awesome. There's a Halloween party that we all really want to go to, so we should all go and celebrate your birthday there. And I have to look at them and be like, well, yeah, that's not what I want to do. So what now? And everyone just stares at each other blankly and blink blank. And then we end up going to this Halloween party. And then all night I'm standing in line trying to get a drink. And you're like, you know, in these crazy lines that you get like one drink, or you're at somebody's house that you've never met before. And you know, like maybe a handful of people that are there pretending they're celebrating you, but really you haven't seen them for an hour. And then you're like, oh, hey, I'm over here, guys. Like, I guess I'll just like light one of these pieces of candy on fire and then blow it out as a candle. Like it ends up being like horrible. So my options are go to a Halloween party, host a Halloween party, or the other option is, hey, I realize that my birthday is falling on Halloween weekend. So I'll defer my birthday to the following week, which now is potentially like more than a week past my birthday. And we'll celebrate then. Does that sound good to everyone? So that's usually my options. So if you can't tell, I have a bit of a disdain for Halloween because of this. I've really become like sort of anti-Halloween because it's just like, it feels like it always gets in the way of my birthday. And look, my birthday's my one day to be selfish, and so I'm going to do it. But this year actually sort of worked out because, and it does sometimes fall this way where like Halloween's sort of in the middle of the week. Like, oh God, if Halloween was Wednesday, oh, it's a crapshoot. It's like people start celebrating on both weekends, then you're really fucked, because then you're like, okay, well now people are going to make an excuse to dress up 2 times this year. And I'm going to have to, you know, defer my birthday until next year. But this year, Halloween fell on a Tuesday, which means all the Halloween parties were the weekend prior. And this weekend, this year, my birthday is on today. If you're listening to the podcast on the day it comes, Thursday, November 2nd. And so now I can actually like do something because people don't have Halloween parties to go to this weekend. So very excited for my birthday. And, I'm glad that this year it worked out in my favor, and that is what it is. But I wanted to at least acknowledge this hellish holiday with something that I love about it. So like I said, growing up, I really liked Halloween. As a child, I read all the Goosebumps series. I still have them. They're actually like sitting right next to me on a bookshelf. I have the entire series of Goosebumps. Loved R.L. Stine. I started reading his his older kind of, what do they call it? Young adult books as I got older. I really loved all of those things. Then in high school, really started loving the slasher flicks that we're going to talk through because, of course, some of these ladies make the top 10. And so we're going to talk through some of those. And so I really was like a fan of the holiday and everything that it kind of comes with, until I became a bit of a grouchy adult, and that's just like part of adulting, I suppose. So bear with me. But so we're gonna jump into our top 10 scream queens to celebrate Halloween. And you know what? I'm gonna just say it straight out away, because if you go online and you look up scream queens, and it's not the TV show, you see one person come up. And we can all agree, right, that if you are like, who's the top scream queen, or who is the like ultimate scream queen, everyone that you ask is going to say it with me, Jamie Lee Curtis. Correct. Okay. Did you say it with me? I'm assuming you did. So Jamie Lee Curtis like invented the genre. Like, she is the ultimate scream queen, and I get it, right? I'm going to say something real shocking. She's not on my list. Guys, have you tuned out right there? I've never seen Halloween. Actually, that's not true. I saw Halloween H2O because Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams were in it, and I like needed to see that. But I couldn't tell you anything about the plot. I remember that there was like this scene where she was like screaming at somebody in the middle of a street, but I could not tell you anything about this movie or where it falls in the franchise. And I know this is crazy because me, a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fan. I mean, this is where my Kyle Richards got her start. She was in the original. She was in the most recent, like rebooted one. I need to catch up on Halloween, and I get it. So you don't have to come for me. You don't have to, share your thoughts on that because I get it. I need to catch up on Halloween. But, and I'm just going to assume, like, I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love everything that she's done. Fish Called Wanda. I love her wind chimes. I mean, hello, again, Real Housewives. She is an incredible staple of the Hollywood, of the Hollywood elite, really. But yeah, I've never seen it. So I didn't feel like I could put her at the top of my list because that wouldn't be authentic. So these are my top 10 Scream Queens. Let's get into them. So number 10 is the hide and seek extraordinaire. I'm talking about Samara Weaving. So kicking off the list, do you know her? I feel like she's a bit of a wild card for the list because I feel like some people have seen Ready or Not and some people have not. I don't think it was like this huge film, but it's so fun. She's a bride who unknowingly marries into like this homicidal board game dynasty, and the wedding night is just filled with hide and seek and these deadly games. And, it's a really fun. And that's what I love about, horror movies too. I don't like get into the Saw movies. I've never seen one because I don't like understand why you just want to see like all that like blood and gore, and just for that being the pure entertainment of it all. Like, I don't get that. I want there to be something like, and if you could make me laugh along the way, or if you're like, wow, this girl like just went up the stairs when she should have gone out the door. Like those things like make me laugh. Like that's what I love about the movies and the genre. And so hide and seek, or Ready or Not rather, is such a good one. I would say definitely see it. Also, Samara is our first victim, and sorry for the spoiler alert, in our 6th edition of the beloved Scream franchise. So I love Scream. You will see a theme on this, that I love Scream so much. It was really truly the movie that sort of kickstarted my slasher interests. Loved me some Scream. So I'm thrilled that we're still getting newish ones. I think it came out last year, I want to say. Maybe it was even the year prior. But the 6th edition of it features Samara Weaving in a incredible role. And she also is like known for her Scream. She, the Scream, one of the Scream producers or the director, he like applauded her and saying like she has one of the best screams. And she has been known to do it on talk shows and things like that. So that's why she kicks off our list at number 10. Number 9, Mia Goth. So now there's a lot of different things here that Mia has done. She has really kind of planted herself as on this list. I mean, she is going after this genre in a major way. She's obviously in, most recently she was in Infinity Pool, which I've actually not seen, but I see the ad for it all the time, and one of these days I will watch it. So I can't give you my review on that, but I have seen her in Pearl and X, which is a part of a trilogy which has the soon to be released Maxine. And she is in all of those. And so she is really kind of becoming this like modern day Scream queen in a different way. She was also in A Cure for Wellness, which is kind of like this movie about a sinister health spa. And I think that, I think that she is somebody that will continue to probably be in this genre and in this space because she does it so well. So, Mia Goth clearly makes the list at number 9. Number 8 is Emma Roberts. Okay. She's our sorority slasher girl. She, of course, is the star of the hilarious and aptly titled TV show Scream Queens. And so campy. It's in the horror genre because it's slashery and people die and, all it's, just unbelievable. It has like a bit of like a ghost facey kind of Scream take, but it's set on a college campus and with sorority girls all named Chanel. But she's Chanel, the original Chanel Oberlin. And it's so good. And really the first season is a gift from the gods. It's like there's so many quotables. It's so hilarious. It's just so entertaining in all levels. It introduced me to one of my, Hollywood crushes, Glenn Powell. Oh, have you? Oh, I don't need I say anymore, right? But if you haven't watched Scream Queens, I definitely say season 1 is incredible, and Emma Roberts. People are saying, and this, has to be a bit of an inner circle moment, but because I don't want, her to come for me, but I am hearing that like people think that the reason she plays that character so well is because that's actually how she is, which is insane, which is like so crazy to me. And if you have seen Scream Queens, you know why I'm saying that, because like she is unhinged in so many ways, but people think like that's kind of her. But then in addition to Scream Queens, obviously the reason Emma Roberts makes the list is that she's such a regular on the American Horror Stories TV series as well. So in all of the different varietals of that series, she has played a myriad of final girls and creepy characters. She's in the current AHS Delicate with starring alongside Kim Kardashian. It's a fucking bomb. It is so bad, guys. I don't know why I continue watching it. I can't follow it. It's like, and it's not even Kim Kardashian. It's actually Emma Roberts. I mean, there is so much that's going on that I'm like, I don't even understand what I'm watching or why I'm watching it. And that's kind of where we are with American Horror Story. Like American Horror Story started out so strong and we got so many good seasons. And Emma Roberts played, I mean, obviously, Coven is ultimate. Like, she played such a good character there and then became such a staple. And yeah, it's kind of jumped the shark. But yeah, but Emma Roberts, she is, of course, a Scream Queen for so many reasons, and makes our list at number 8. Then coming in at number 7, the new face of fear, Jenna Ortega. So Jenna stepped into the iconic Scream series in 2021. She breathed her new life into the horror franchise as Tara Carpenter. And, she's amazing. Like I said, I think that there's a lot about Jenna Ortega that's amazing. She also is in the X movie. She's in, she plays Wednesday Addams, which I know is not a Scream Queens style role, but she's kind of in this like spooky era. She's going to be in the new Beetlejuice sequel, and I just think that like she also like she does the Scream, and she has like I said the new face of fear because it's like she can make these faces that are so terrifying, like she's so terrified, and I love her, and I think that she's great. I think that she's coming up. I think that she will continue to make her way up the list of my top 10 Scream Queens in years to come. And then number 6, my beloved Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh, guys, what are you waiting for? Right? What do you know what I'm talking about? She is iconic in I Know What You Did Last Summer and the I Know What You Still Did Last Summer, or I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, rather. She was, I mean, the both of those movies are amazing, but the first one is really incredible. Of course, she's the target of a relentless fisherman hook-wielding stalker after her and her friends have a bit of a night out, and I mean, so much happens. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in it. There is so many of our sort of Freddie Prinze and, all of those sort of, I don't want to say Hollywood, like the young Hollywood elite of that time of the 90s are in this movie. And Jennifer Love Hewitt just delivers in such a spectacular way in both of her performances there as Julie James. And I love her. I love her. It's one of the most iconic. I mean, the scene that I'm talking about where she's in the middle of the street yelling, I mean, I feel like it's a iconic sort of touch point for this horror genre. And so that is why she comes in at number 6. And at number 5, Courtney Cox. Again, Scream. There is no one better. It's like Gail Weathers couldn't not be on this list, right? Like she is like the final girl that was never actually the final girl. She had like laughs and she played, the fearless journalist that would stop at nothing to get her story, even if she had to come face to face with Ghostface. It was amazing. All of her showings in the Scream franchise. I think she's been in all 6. I want to say that maybe she missed one, but I don't think she did. I think that she was in all 6 of them. And so, she's just no stranger to this genre. Again, iconic character. And I love her. I love our Gail Weathers. And there's no character that has like made me sort of laugh and who has added more to the plot, because she's kind of like, on Housewives, like we get the one person that's sort of like the Bethany's, or, you get somebody that's sort of like driving the storyline. It's like, that's what Gail Weathers is. It's like Gail's always got like the next sort of hot tip of where they should like go next to find Ghostface. And she keeps the story moving. And so I love her. So number 5 is Courtney Cox. And at number 4, we have Sigourney Weaver, because of course she is the original space Scream Queen. And I'm talking about, of course, her roles in the Alien movies. In 1979, she was in the original as Ellen Ripley. And I feel like maybe this is a bit of a controversial take, because I feel like some people are going to say it's not really a horror movie, Aliens, and Aliens falls more in like what would be like another category, like a Jaws. Well, Jaws I think is a horror movie. Yeah, I don't know. I teetered with this one because I was like, she's got to be on the list because she's such an iconic kind of like character and female in this sort of genre space. But then I realized that like some people may not find Aliens to be like a slasher kind of movie, and it's not, but she's still a Scream Queen and in that kind of way. And so I thought that she needed to be on the list, and if she was going to be on the list, she was going to have a high showing. So she's coming in at number 4. And then we're into our top 3 already, guys. Here we are. Number 3 is Sarah Paulson. I mean, she is the reigning queen of American Horror Story. She isn't on the series anymore. As I mentioned, it has jumped the shark quite a bit. But her relationship with Ryan Murphy was really kind of like this match made in heaven, it felt like, because he always was able to kind of write these characters for her that she was so iconic with. And of course, being a supreme witch in Coven, she was conjoined twins in, oh God, what was the name of that one? I want to say Carnival, but I think that's wrong. But you know which one I'm talking about. It's like the circusy themed Carnival one. And then an asylum inmate in Asylum, which was the second season. I think that's the first season that we got. Sarah Paulson. But even since then, she has been in Ratchet on Netflix. She plays the horror role so well. There's like something about her. She's like such an incredible actress. And when you've like seen her in other things, you're just like, wow, she's captivating. And there's so much about her as an actress that I just absolutely adore and love. But there is also something that is like kind of terrifying about her. When she wants to play terrifying, she really does. And so, of course, Sarah Paulson makes the list at number 3. Now, number 2, I've mentioned her already, Sarah Michelle Gellar. And at first I was like, okay, the girl's can't be ahead of Jennifer Love Hewitt. And then I remembered, this girl is our Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay, she is the ultimate. She is slaying more than vampires because, of course, she's so well known for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. But she was, as I mentioned, in I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997. She was in The Grudge in 2004. I mean, she has versatility in this genre, and she, I mean, is iconic as Buffy, and she's an iconic staple of Scream Queens. And so Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's right at number 2 coming in on our top 10 Scream Queens. And now, guys, here we are. We are at our final girl, our number 1, the original Scream Queen. And no, I'm not talking about Jamie Lee. Again, don't come for me. But she's last, but she is definitely not least, Neve Campbell. You knew it was coming, right? I've been talking about Scream this whole time. You knew she was going to be right at the top because she deserves to be. Sidney Prescott is one of the most iconic Scream Queens of all time. I mean, that first Scream movie is like a godsend with, I mean, Drew Barrymore's part, but I mean, really like Sidney Prescott, her character, but Neve Campbell, she really walked us through how the horror sort of franchise and slasher movies are a bit of a comedy. And, you know, that was the first time that we were really talking about the genre and breaking down the like third wall of the movie itself. But it was like people that were obsessed with horror movies that were actually, you know, playing it out in real life. And that was what was happening. And so Sidney Prescott was always like a step ahead because she always was like, oh, I know that like you're not supposed to do this and you're not supposed to do that. And the killer's going to come back because they never die unless you shoot him in the head. And, you know, she just like was always a step ahead. But you also, you know, felt for her when she made mistakes and ran up the stairs and went into the bedroom and, you know, and you were like, why'd you go up the stairs? You know, that's not what you should be doing. And, you know, it was just so fun to watch her. She was not in the most recent Scream, and I've heard that she's probably not going to be in the next one. Though people they're saying like, pay her whatever she needs. We need to see Sidney Prescott. I think people really want to see Sidney Prescott come back and be Ghostface. But I feel like that's so predictable, right? Like she comes back and now she's got a bone to pick because she's gone through all this trauma and all the things. I don't know if she really needs to come back and be Ghostface, but I would love to see, you know, my Sidney Prescott back on screen because I love her. And, that's just the truth about it. And I love Neve Campbell. I think that she is the ultimate Scream Queen. I feel like Neve Campbell, I watched her on Party of Five for so many years with my Jennifer Love Hewitt. And, you know, I think that she's a great actress. And I'm just so surprised. I know she's been in a couple of things here and there, but I kind of thought she was going to go the distance and be like a real like major Hollywood star. And I feel like now she can't get out of this sort of Scream Queen space because Sidney Prescott was just so dang memorable and so iconic. So Neve Campbell comes in at number 1 as the original Scream Queen and my top final girl. So there we have it. This is all of the Scream Queens who have turned my dreams into nightmares and our movie nights into Scream Fests. This is the way in which we celebrate Halloween this year. And I appreciate that if you have listened to me and you didn't tune me out when I said, you know, Jamie Lee didn't make the list. I thank you. And if you're here listening to me still. I appreciate that because I feel like you're here celebrating my birthday, even though we talked about Halloween and this holiday that I have to share my birthday with. But that'll do it. That's going to do it for our Halloween edition of The Gist. But don't forget to rate and subscribe. Like Danny Pellegrino was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he, gave me a really nice shout out and said, it's really important that you guys do that, and it only takes a second. And so I'll echo that and say, like, please do, like, please, hit the rating. Let me know how you like it. If this, list just pissed you right off, then tell me in the comments. I'll hear your feedback and we'll maybe redo the list next year. Who knows? Probably not, because, my opinions are my own. And as Tamara would say, that's my opinion. So, but yeah, rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got some more kind of like fun fall and holiday themed episodes to come. We're getting around the holidays, so some of the schedules might be a little bit different. But always, make sure that you're following me on socials. I'm at CM Vetrano. A lot more on Instagram, but I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and then Listen It's Vetrano on Facebook. So find me there, and let's stay up to date on all the things that are going on into our final couple of months of the year. That is crazy. But until next time, thanks so much for listening, and I hope that you guys all had a spooky Halloween. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.